Why do some breakups feel like endings while others whisper of new beginnings? If you're sitting there wondering whether your recent split is truly over or just a painful pause in your story, you're not alone. The truth is, some breakups are temporary storms rather than permanent goodbyes, and there are clear signs that can help you understand which category yours falls into. Let's be honest about something first. When you're in the middle of heartbreak, everything feels permanent. The silence feels endless, the distance feels insurmountable, and the idea of reconnection seems impossible. But here's what I've learned from countless stories of love lost and found again. Not every goodbye is forever, and some relationships need to break apart before they can truly come together. The first sign your breakup might be temporary is that the core issues were circumstantial rather than fundamental. Think about this carefully. Were you fighting about who you are as people, or were you struggling with timing, distance, career pressures, or family expectations? If your relationship ended because of external circumstances rather than incompatibility, you're looking at a very different situation. When two people genuinely love each other but can't make it work due to life's timing, that's not a character flaw or a fundamental mismatch. That's life being complicated, and life has a way of changing. The second sign is that your communication hasn't completely died. I'm not talking about daily conversations or romantic exchanges. I'm talking about those small moments of connection that keep happening despite everything. Maybe they still respond to your texts, even if it takes longer than before. Maybe they check in during difficult times or remember important dates. When someone truly wants you out of their life, they create complete silence. But when the door remains slightly open, when there's still care and consideration flowing between you, that's your heart recognizing something your mind might be trying to deny. Here's the third sign, and this one might surprise you. The breakup felt wrong to both of you, even if it felt necessary. Sometimes relationships end not because love died, but because the pressure became too much to bear. Maybe you were both struggling with personal growth, career changes, or family situations that made being together feel impossible. If you both walked away feeling like you were making the wrong choice for the right reasons, that's actually a sign that your connection runs deeper than your current circumstances. The fourth sign is that you're both actively working on the issues that contributed to the breakup. This is crucial. Temporary breakups often serve as wake-up calls, forcing both people to address problems they'd been avoiding. If you find yourself in therapy, working on communication skills, or addressing personal issues that affected your relationship, and you have reason to believe they're doing the same, you're witnessing growth that could change everything. Real change takes time, and sometimes love requires space to allow that transformation to happen. Sign number 5 is that your social circles haven't completely separated. This might seem superficial, but it's actually quite telling. When breakups are truly final, there's usually a complete division of friend groups, social media connections, and shared activities. But when your friends are still their friends, when mutual connections continue to exist naturally, when there's no dramatic unfriending or blocking happening, it suggests that neither of you has mentally categorized this as a permanent ending. Your social ecosystem is unconsciously preserving the possibility of reconnection. The sixth sign is more subtle, but equally important. You're both single, but you're not really dating. Sure, you might be meeting new people, or even going on dates, but there's a part of you that's still emotionally invested in what you had together. If months have passed and neither of you has jumped into serious relationships with other people, despite having opportunities, that's significant. It suggests you're both processing this breakup differently than you would a relationship you truly wanted to leave behind forever. The seventh and final sign is perhaps the most important one. Despite everything, you still bring out the best in each other when you do interact. The fundamental dynamic between you hasn't changed. You still laugh at each other's jokes, still feel comfortable in each other's presence, still have that natural chemistry that made you fall in love in the first place. Toxic relationships leave people feeling drained and diminished. But if your rare interactions still feel natural and positive, if you still see the person you fell for when you look at each other, that foundation hasn't been destroyed by your time apart. Now, here's something crucial to understand. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean you should immediately rush back together. Temporary breakups serve a purpose. They create space for growth, perspective, and change that might not have been possible while you were together. The key is using this time wisely rather than just waiting passively for something to happen. If you recognize several of these signs in your situation, consider this your permission to hope, but also your reminder to grow. Use this time to become the person you need to be, not just for a potential reunion, but for yourself. Work on the issues that contributed to your problems. Develop the communication skills you lacked. Address the personal growth areas you've been avoiding. Remember, not every relationship is meant to survive every season of life, but some love stories are bigger than their temporary chapters of separation. Some people need to lose each other to truly find each other. Some couples need to break apart to learn how to come together properly. The difference between a temporary breakup and a permanent one often comes down to growth, timing, and mutual effort. If you're both willing to do the work, if the fundamental love and respect still exist, and if the circumstances that drove you apart are changeable, then maybe this ending is actually a new beginning waiting to unfold. Trust the process, trust your growth, and trust that real love has a way of finding its way back when the timing is finally right.